It was a warm day here in Maine again, and we got a bunch done, got everything sorted in the wood yard, and I have a load on the truck ready for first thing tomorrow morning. So we'll go get that one delivered, and then we got to come back and split a bunch more firewood. We've got a lot of wood that has to leave before we go to Boonville next Thursday morning. We're going to leave out about 4 a.m. So Monday through Wednesday next week, it's going to be go, 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 and I'm going to try to get half of Dad's firewood to them. Half will be all of the wood that they need for this year. Gramp has it cut, so we'll split and deliver Dad's wood to him, and he can stack it while we're gone, or Gramp can stack it. I don't know who's going to stack it, but we'll split it and deliver it. So let's see who's in here. See a bunch of people rolling in. Bill Saflarski's here. Billy Bob's Wood. David Parker. Mike, Lake Ontario Firewood. Dennis Rexford's checking in. Dennis, I found somebody to sharpen the misery whip. We're in luck. We're going to have that thing sharpened pretty soon. Paul Janey's checking in. Uncle V. Uncle V, send me an email. woodguywilly@gmail.com. Send me an email. I have a question for you. Iffy Kids checking in. Josh and Janice are checking in. Robert Daigle, not enough firewood. There's Ted from Miller's Stumps and Firewood. Speedy's checking in. Broken Old Swedes here. It's been busy. I received confirmation from Jan at New England Pine and Timber that Dave's 372 will be ready for the Boonville show, and he wanted to know if TKP wanted to race saws. So I don't know what he's done to Dave's 372, but apparently he's pretty excited about what that saw will do. So I'm excited to see what it'll do as well. Mark's keeping busy. Thank you very much. If any of you guys watched my new video that I just posted, I did a suicide awareness minute. Monday was the 3-year anniversary of my best friend's suicide. And it's something that I try to do a few videos every now and then about. I don't want to hound it to death, but want everybody to know that the world is better with you in it. And very, very much hope that if somebody is having an issue, you reach out. If you've got a friend that goes quiet, you haven't heard from them in a long time, something like that, reach out, check on them. Instead of saying, what's up, how's it going, ask them, how are you really doing? And when they say, oh, living the dream, no, how are you really doing? Ask the question, be persistent about it, and show them that you care. So that's my my bit on suicide awareness for this. 3 years doesn't make it any easier. I spent the day, all day Monday, sawmilling. My sawmill is his old sawmill. I just thought it was a right and fitting thing. Unfortunately, with life being busy, I don't get as much time as I'd like to be able to swing down, stop at his grave, and have a Mountain Dew with him. He was a big Mountain Dew drinker. But I definitely won't forget him ever, that's for sure. So we got Rick's Outdoors is checking in, BW35's checking in, District 617's checking in. So we've got a bunch of firewood to do. I'm going to try to get all of the firewood that's in the yard paid for before we leave, so everything that is in the yard will be ours. We have a couple of loggers that drop off as they get it cut so that it keeps their landings clear, and we pay for it as quickly as we can. I'm hoping with what we have for orders, I can get everything paid for, everything caught up, and everything in the yard will be ours when we leave, and still have some money in our pockets to go to Boonville and do all of that stuff. So it's going to be busy, but I think we can get it done. Friday, I think I'm on my own again. Kevin's got some doctor's appointments and stuff that he's got to take care of on Friday. So we're going to go ahead and work solo again. I actually like working solo in the wood yard. With the right equipment, it's not that bad, and it's quiet. So I really, I enjoy my time in the wood yard. Gramp officially, as of this morning, has cut 3 tractor trailer loads in the last 8 days. So in the last 8 mornings, he's cut 36 full cord. He doesn't stop. He just goes. So Good for him. I mean, almost 80 years old, and to cut that amount of wood, that's just, it's incredible. District 617 says loaded his truck for his first barbecue delivery first thing tomorrow morning. Well, congratulations and good luck with that. Brandon Taylor, BT Saws, is checking in. And there's Nick and Gavin checking in tonight. How you doing, boys? How's the weather down in Rhode Island? Uncle V, gotcha. I will be in touch after this live. Yeah, Gramp's a different breed for sure. He definitely keeps busy, and he works the saws hard. Empire Sawworks, Bodie, he was asking where to send the saw to, and a couple of people had mentioned send it to Gramp. As much as I'd love to have Gramp try out one of those decked imported 564s, I don't want him to break it. I don't know if a new school chainsaw would hold up to Gramp. That's the whole thing. We run old school for a reason, because new school and Gramp, they usually don't get going. Rick said split the toughest hickory they ever had. Video comes out Monday. I'll have to be looking for that for sure. And there is Frontier Firewood checking in. How you doing, guys? Camberghini, how you going? Well, it's going good here in Maine. We are cooling off a little bit. The weather has been hot and sticky. Man, it was just sweaty. The last couple of days have been hot. We've gotten a lot done. We're going to continue to get a lot done, and we're just going to plug forward. The green split force splitter that we have is 100% officially sold, headed to North Carolina, and we will be bringing home some new split force stuff from the Boonville show, hopefully, if it doesn't all sell. And if it does sell, we'll have another splitter coming within about a month. So gonna keep moving stuff around. Our splitter that will stay here is probably going to be here before Bunyan. Maybe I'll pick it up at Bunyan. We'll see. But it's going to be interesting. Dan's House of Smoking Outdoors, you're very welcome, my friend. Karsten McGee, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you joining in. Yeah, the heat will suck it out of you so fast. Mike, yes, we are going to have one to keep eventually. The plan was to have two machines here, to have one that's going to be ours and one that will be a demo / for sale unit, maybe more. So it's all that stuff that needs to be done. It's just busy. So it's it's busy. Camberghini, you're welcome all the way from Maine. Appreciate you stopping by, buddy. District 617, you can plug away all you want. If people want to follow you on Facebook, absolutely. Put a plug down there in the live chat. That's what this is all about. If anybody here has a YouTube channel, you're kind of stalled, you're not growing, you need some new subscribers, speak up, say something. Somebody on here will put a link to your page or something on there so that everybody can find you and keep everything going. So that's what it's all about, is kind of helping each other out and helping to grow. I've been feeling a little nostalgic just because I see Gramp getting a little bit older, slowing down just a little bit. And one of the things that I've been posting a few pictures of here and there on my Facebook is old pickup trucks. Old pickup trucks are something that I grew up doing firewood with. We didn't have fancy trailers. We loaded it in the pickup truck all the way to the top of the cab, sometimes with sideboards, sometimes not. We would bring it home, we would split it, and we would do a bunch of stuff to get everything ready for winter. It was kind of a one weekend deal with my grandfather, Gramp, that cuts wood for me. Gramp wanted his done and done now. He didn't stretch it out. And then my dad would pick away at his most of the summer. So the old pickup trucks and firewood, seeing the loads of firewood stacked in the back of an old pickup, that's nostalgic for me. That and old Mack trucks. My dad's father drove Mack trucks for years. Old twin stick Macks, and every time I see an old Mack, especially a forest green old Mack, I think of my papa. Papa drove those trucks for a lot of years. He built the interstate north of Bangor all the way to Holton, and he built Route 9 from Bangor to Calais, what they call the airline road. So those were the two big projects he worked on while he was in construction. So I like all the old stuff. I like the pictures. I like the stories. I like people posting stuff and telling me, you know, this is my dad's truck, or this was my dad's truck, or my grandfather's truck, or whoever. And, you know, we still use it for firewood and do all that stuff. So that to me is cool. I enjoy the nostalgic stuff. Frontier Firewood says he'll take all the subs he can get. And Lake Ontario Firewood says that he will as well. And so does BT Saws. So there's 3 channels right there. If you haven't checked out any of those guys, check them out. YouTube is something that grows slowly. It doesn't happen quickly. I've been at this for almost 3 years. I think over 3 years now. And it takes time. It's consistency, and you know, once you get rolling, you got to stay consistent with it. And if you can stay consistent with it, it'll do everything you need it to do. Josh, a twin stick truck's not that hard. Once you get in and figure out what it is, not bad at all. Twin stick Macs you can lug them until they almost stall. They love to lug and they'll still pull. I love an old Mac. I love the sounds of them. I will have an old Mac at some point. I want an old R model. I'd really, really like to find one with the big V8 in it. There weren't many of them, but I would love to find one, if nothing else, just for a parade truck. Rick's Outdoors says they'd love to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you haven't checked out Rick and Donetta down there with their Wolfridge equipment, go and give them a look. Check them out too. Rick and Donetta are always out in the wood yard, and they've always got some big wood that they're trying to split. A lot of you guys get wood that's real big. I don't, and I get people picking on me, calling it toothpicks up here. That's our firewood. That's what we get. I can't be real choosy with what I get. And there's Tom from Tom's Firewood. So if you guys don't follow Tom, Tom posts on YouTube and Facebook too. Tom does some beautiful stacking, and he'll take a picture of the neighbor's poor stack while he's there, try to shame him in. But no, Tom does a great job. He hustles. I've watched Tom grow his business for the last couple of years, and Tom hustles. Tom is somebody that I would say would keep up with Gramp and I. And there's not many guys that would do that, but I think Tom could do it. District 617 says he's going to invest in pickup dump bed kits for $2K. Sure beats the price of a dump trailer. It does, and a truck is easier to get around with too. There's a lot of pros and a lot of cons to a dump truck versus a dump trailer, and I've seen it done both ways. But at the end of the day, just for ease of use, I think a dump truck is the way to go. We have 5 of them between Dave and I that we're kind of working on putting back together. We're going to have some videos and stuff on those too. We've got a lot of work to do to get those old trucks ready and back for the road, but I'm hoping we can get 1 or 2 ready this fall, and then throughout the winter, I'd really like to take my white truck and really, really clean it up. Make it look new again. It's only got 15,000 miles on it. I want to make it look like it has 15,000 miles on it. So going to try to push and do the best we can. Josh and Janice just put the link to Rick's Outdoors on the live chat. I see Ross Firewood checking in. How you doing? Good to see you found your phone again. The old iron is the best. They were made to last. They weren't made to buy a new truck every 5 years. Guys bought those trucks and they ran them until they died. And that's the way it should be. You shouldn't be buying something that they want you to throw away in 5 years. And I feel like that's what they've done with a lot of the stuff now. My dump trailer is less than 2 years old. It's rusting like crazy already. I knew it would. It's not one of the better quality dump trailers. It's not galvanized, but I mean, the powder coat's peeling off, the paint's peeling off on the parts that are painted, and it's bubbling underneath. Just the quality is not there. It's a shame, and it should be better than what it is. They should really try to do better quality-wise with some of the equipment. There are some brands out there that do a really good job, and then there are other brands that it's a budget brand and they're close enough. So you got to understand that. I did get it undercoated, Uncle V, so the bottom side is okay, but I should have sprayed the whole thing outside and all. It's just, Oh, not a good situation with the money you spend on those dump trailers, and to have them start chewing themselves apart within just 2 years' time. Not even 2 years' time is crazy. Scott McCoy's checking in from Tennessee, and BW35 says, don't forget to double tap that screen. So Dan's House of Smoking Outdoors says he likes trailers the best because you don't have to keep them running in insurance. And that's true. So it's, you do have an insurance adjustment there, but you're still pulling it with a pretty nice truck most of the time too. So you're still going to put miles on that truck. You're still going to run it around, have insurance, and you're adding the insurance of the trailer. I don't know, maybe a dump truck and a dump trailer. Double up on your deliveries. Do something like that. The Kilted Sawyer. Craig is checking in from Utah. Good evening. Autocar had a triple stick. So I've seen some 4-stick transmissions with divorce transfers and everything else. I had a friend that had a heavy haul business, and he had a 4-stick Kenworth W900 heavy spec. I couldn't begin to tell you how to drive the thing, but he did it like it was nothing at all. Nothing at all. So Rick asked, how much more are the galvanized trailers versus the typical dump trailer? So when I was looking at my 14-foot trailer to go from painted to the NNN galvanized, it was almost $5,000 more, which I thought was a lot of money at the time, but I wish I had spent the extra $5,000. It's just, I think it would have been way more beneficial to us. Daniel Atkins, any update on the speed and gas mileage of the splitter? So I think the splitter top speed's about 4.5 miles an hour, maybe 5. If we could get it downhill, I think we could get 5. Gas mileage, that's going to be a long time. I may take it to the grocery store and pick up my groceries and put them on the conveyor. I don't know how to check the mileage any other way than go a set distance and then refill it again. So we'll have to see what we can do. Bill Ising's checking in from Everett, Michigan. He said, send us some rain. The gardens need it bad. We are dry here too, Bill. I've heard of a lot of places, Virginia, getting pounded with rain, and we're not getting much up here. We got a thunderstorm and picked up an inch or so, and it was gone almost instantly. The ground just sucked it right up. So Josh and Janice said they bought a dump insert that you can fit a cord in if you stack it. A cord in, if it was loose, would be perfect. A cord in, if you stack it, I'd probably just figure out what it is loose and make 2 trips, especially on the island. Aaron Burford says, thanks for the mental health info you shared today. Absolutely. That's what it's all about, is to let somebody know that there is a place that they can go if they're in one of those bad situations and in one of those bad spots. So there's another one checking in. There's Craig from Craig's Cord to Coles. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. BW35 says he loves his 2 old 4900 Internationals. The International trucks were pretty tough and pretty simple, so it was really nice to have them around. You can work on them still. Dana Trades is checking in. How you doing? Good to see you. Like George Jones on his lawnmower. Absolutely, 100%. And Speedy's in Pennsylvania. He says they have all the rain that you need. So, yeah, there you go. So Mike from Lake Ontario Firewood says Brandon Hode renamed his 590 to the 605, half 590, half 620. Well, there you go. That works. So we got 2 saws that we're sending to Virginia. Those should go out next week, hopefully before I leave to go to Boonville. And I'd like to be able, if he has time, to pick them up when we go to Virginia to the small scale forestry show, because it's going to be pretty close to that show, so I could take a ride and go pick them up. What is coming home with me from the Boonville show, as far as I know right now, if nothing changes, is we will have a new processor coming home. We will have a new splitter from Cord King coming home if they don't sell. The splitter is mine. I purchased it, paid for it myself, all that stuff. We will have 3 splitters coming home from Split Force and a hopper feeder. We want to try the hopper feeder to see if we want the small hopper feeder or the large hopper feeder, and figure out what we're going to do as far as where that goes. Iffy Kid, how you doing, buddy? I think I said hello to you earlier, but I don't remember if I did, and if I didn't, I apologize. Mike, we'll load up saws in the truck, and we'll give you plenty to work on and pick away at. So, Mark's keeping busy says, what editing program do you use? Have a lot of shorts, but having trouble editing for a full video. So I use iMovie on my iPhone for everything, 100% everything. And I've had good luck with it. Every once in a while it'll get a glitch and you'll get a corrupted file and it won't load, or it'll say that it's unable to load. So I like iMovie. It's simple, it's free. I've gotten used to it over the last 3 years, so it's one of those things that if it's not broke, don't fix it. I'm not going to pay for something I don't need, and we'll just kind of wing it and go from there. Josh and Janice want to know, are you going to have enough trailer to haul it all back? Yes, I am. So Dave is bringing a big gooseneck trailer, and I am bringing a big deck over trailer. And between the 2 trucks and 2 trailers, we will have plenty of room to haul everything home. The hopper feeder is a Split Force hopper feeder this time around. Cord King will have a hopper feeder soon enough. And when they get one of those, I can't wait to try it. But the Split Force feeder should feed our new splitter as well. So it's one of those things. You use what you got. It doesn't have to be the same brand to work together. I've looked at some other hopper feeders, and there are a couple other hopper feeders that I think look really good too. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if when we decide to do something, if I can't get what I want, I'll buy what I need, and we'll go from there. Frontier Firewood says he uses DaVinci Resolve, the free edition, for his videos. And Rick's Outdoors says VN is a good editor, and it's free. So there you go. Yeah, Mike has already offered and volunteered to help, which is wonderful. So if we have an extra machine that can't quite fit and won't make it, he's agreed to let us store it at his place, and he'll keep it warmed up and ready for us. So appreciate that. Mike is close to the Boonville show, or closer, a lot closer than we are. So if that has to happen, then we'll do that, and we'll make it work. But I think we've got plenty of trailer. I'd really like to sell a machine or 2 of them out there and not have to bring as many of them back home. But at the same time, I want to bring them all back home so I can play with them. So these machines are set up a little bit different, and I think it's going to be fun to try them out and check them out. Speedy says, I think you could use the big hopper feeder with the grizzly bars to feed the splitter, or put a conveyor in front of it to load bulk wood out of a bin. So, yeah, we use the Split Force splitter today as a conveyor just to load bulk wood off the ground. And it worked really good. I think with the hopper feeder, what would be really nice is if we had the big one so that we can load it with the bucket loader. And as Gramps cutting, I could be filling the bin and at least put a couple of cords in the big bin. And then when Kevin showed up, or when Gramp goes home, somebody could split and you don't have to do any more loading. Handle the wood one less time. Because at the end of the day, the less times you touch it, the better off you are. So I think that could be a good thing. And we may try to do some of that too, if Gramp doesn't have it all cut before we come back. Bracken, yes, I did see your in-feed setup. That was pretty simple and pretty easy, and it looks like it works fantastic. And that's what I'm all about sometimes, guys, is it doesn't have to be the most complicated thing in the world or the most expensive thing in the world. If it works, it's awesome. So Dave and I are trying to find a way to get rid of all the edgings off the sawmill, all the slabs and things like that. And we found a gentleman on TikTok who's actually in Maine. Hancock Wood Products, I believe, is his TikTok channel. He has a set of gravity rollers, like off a beer truck, and they slide the slabs right onto that. He's got a pivot mount for his chainsaw, so he can just pick it up, saw it off, and cuts it at 16 inches, throws his short pieces into a bin, and it's up a conveyor and gone. Really simple setup, not a lot of money in it, and productive. I've seen some videos of what he's done over like the course of a weekend or something like that, and I'll tell you, it's really impressive what he gets accomplished. So again, it doesn't have to be big, expensive, shiny, and fancy. Are those nice? Absolutely. But if it works, heck yeah, go for it. So that's the stuff that I like. I like to see people use their noggin a little bit instead of digging out a checkbook or a wallet and saying, I think I can do this. And that to me, that's the fun part of it. Again, you know, today out in the wood yard, after Kevin left, I was working by myself. I went and loaded another load of wood on the dump trailer for tomorrow morning. And it's just enjoyable. It was hot. Yes, I was sweating, but it was enjoyable. It's peaceful in the yard. Now, Josh and Janice says there's a woman here on the island that makes dog bowls and water bowl holders using slab wood that others think is junk. So I have a guy that'll buy loads of slab wood off me, and he does wood burnt signs and crafts. So any of the double live edge pieces that he can get, he'll cut out pieces, or he'll cut ovals, or, you know, whatever he's going to do with it. And he'll make wood burn signs and stuff out of them, and he gets good money for them, really good money. And he is always so thankful and so thrilled to get a load of slab wood. You know, he asked me how much for a load, and I told him, I said, whatever I can fit on my truck, $100 on the dump trailer. He's like, well, that's a really big trailer. He goes, I think, you know, I think it should be more than that. I said, no, it's okay. I said, you can have all that for $100. I'll take another one. I'll take another one. So he's taken a few loads of them, and he uses them for live edge siding on sheds and things like that. I mean, he's very resourceful with what he uses. The bigger stuff he'll cut up and turn into firewood. I mean, that's the whole thing. And like Craig said, being productive is contagious. It is. Once you see that you're doing something and it's actually amounting to something, or it's adding up, it's almost like in your brain, at least if you're like me, you're like, I think I could do a little bit more. I think I could do one more load. I think I can do 2 more deliveries, whatever it is. And it's it's fun. It just is. My face is a little sunburnt. It's been hot, but I mean, I enjoy it. A grain truck or a manure spreader would make a really good hopper feeder. So if you had like the grain body with the bottom belt in it, you could make a really big hopper feeder. Then, you know, sit it on a set of stationary legs, mount it somewhere close to your splitter. That would be a really, really good thing for sure. BW35, I know this could be a little silly to ask, but what does the hype button do in the comment box? I have no idea. None. No idea. Try it out. Larry Terrell's checking in. How you doing, Larry? Billy Bob's Wood says, I've been getting used to sweating lately, building a new woodshed for myself, tired of shoveling off the wood pile. Digging wood out of the snow is no fun at all. I've been there, done that. It's not the funnest thing. So Robert Daigle, Not Enough Firewood, says it basically hypes the live stream or video that you're watching so that it gets out to more people. So I guess if you guys want to hype it up too. Have at it. Uncle V says he peels the bark and uses the slabs for siding at the in-laws log home. Absolutely can be used for that. No problem. There's so many uses for the stuff that we throw away. I mean, the sawdust that I use for my fire starters, we make a mountain of sawdust every year. I mean, we're starting now to get 6 inches or so worth of sawdust on the ground out back in the wood yard where we set all of our logs. It's starting to get to the point that Gramps happier with it. He'd still like a lot more, but he's getting happier with it. So that's good. But we use that sawdust in our fire starters. The slabs coming off the mill for camp wood or anything like that. Anything that we can use it for. We've already paid for the logs. If we've already paid for the logs and we've already done the work to get the product out of it, anything that you get out of that after is extra and gravy. So take the extra if you can get it. And I drink water like it is going out of style lately. There's not enough water. So I had a bunch of people ask about the conveyor on the split force. They said, you know, is it strong enough? Will it keep up? So Kevin and I, as fast as we could possibly chuck wood into it, we slowed it down so that it wasn't leaving empty gaps in between the chain. And I mean, it was filling the conveyor. It rolls the same amount of firewood no matter what speed you have it running, and it just chugs along. They build their stuff really tough. Somebody asked about the knife on the bottom. Is it sharpened? They sharpen them from the factory. Those come pretty stinking sharp. I was actually surprised how sharp it came from the factory. Could you make it sharper? Probably. Does it need to be? No. It'll slice through just about anything that's there. So the knife on that is plenty sharp from the factory. The oil cooler, somebody asked, does it run all the time? It doesn't run constantly. It runs a little bit here and there. And when you run it that way, it's not drawing on the battery, but they put a full-size automotive battery on it, so you're not gonna really work the battery too hard or anything like that, because you got to figure it's not a big charging system on that 13-horse Honda. But it doesn't run hot. The cooler doesn't run all the time. There's lots of times we go to shut it off after we've been running it, and the fan's not running. There's sometimes we go to shut it off and the fan's running. So it just depends, and it's been hot. So I don't think you'll see it run in the wintertime. I think once the weather cools off, you won't really see the fan running. But for summertime, and as hard as we use the splitters, I think it's definitely worth having the cooler. Hey, have a good one, Rick. Stay safe down there, guys. Don't let the heat get you. So I like the 20-foot conveyor better. It is a little tippy. You want to make sure the conveyor is down before you move the splitter, and you really want to make sure that you don't cut your wheels too hard and find a hole, because I think if you got a big enough hole, there's not a lot of flex in the chassis on that. You could get yourself into a pickle. So you got to be mindful of where you're going. But in the video today that I posted, I ran across our slash piles, all the sawdust, all the uneven ground that was there. It's plenty stable. It runs and goes fine. No issue there, but you got to use a little common sense. You're not on a fully suspended vehicle. This is a log splitter that's not really made to be moving, that you're driving across the yard. So you gotta keep that in mind. One of the things that's hard to get used to on it is it's a hydraulic control. So when you let off, it stops. It doesn't coast to a stop. It's not like letting off the accelerator on the car. When you let go of the lever, it stops. So learning to feather those levers in and out to get you where you need to be, that makes a big difference too. And Richard, when the first time he moved at Big Rich, he let go of the lever and launched himself off the machine, because he didn't know. And I had told him before, you got to be easy with the levers, but he just, he wasn't understanding. He understands now, so he's much more careful when he has to move it. Split Force does have a light kit for the splitters, and I believe one of the machines that we're bringing home from the Boonville show has a light kit on it. So I'm looking forward to doing some splitting at night when it's cooler. So and then up here in the fall, it's dark by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so we can be splitting in the dark, still getting our next load on for tomorrow morning and doing that stuff too. So they do offer a light kit. They offer a grizzly bar kit for the conveyor, so what little bit of trash does come out of the Firewood, you can knock that stuff out with the grizzly bars. They also offer a 7x7 canopy that goes up over the operator, up over your head. So instead of having a pop-up canopy or something like that, you got a 7-foot by 7-foot canopy that's mounted and solid. So they offer that as an option. You have options for larger or smaller engines. You have options for electric start. You have options for oil coolers. You have options for single log lifts. You have options for double log lifts. You have options for all kinds of different things, 20-inch stroke, 24-inch stroke. So if anybody is thinking about a split force machine or something like that, let me know. I do have the official options sheets for the splitters that are going to be at Boonville. So if you're thinking you might want to pick a machine up at Boonville, let me know. I can let you know exactly the colors. I can let you know how they're set up, what options, all that stuff. It's definitely something that we can do and get you sorted out. But, you know, if it's not set up the way you want, we can just order you another one. BW35 says, Chris in the Woodyard pushed its limits loading it out of the trailer in Ohio. Nothing but a wild man. So he was nervous with that one for sure. Matt loaded it for him after, I think. They are tricky getting in and out of trailers, especially a dump trailer where it's steeper. A tilt deck, no problem. Tilt deck's no problem at all. Really nice. And then if you've got forks, they're not that heavy. You can pick them up with a set of forks and set them right onto a trailer if you got like a deck over trailer or something like that. So they're not hard to move around. Josh said, Janice found a solar-powered fan to use near the wood processor on Amazon, and it's amazing. I need some fans. Not just you guys watching. I need some fans to move some air. And my nose, I don't know if I've got allergies or what, but my nose is just itching like I need to sneeze so bad. But I was thinking some fans would be really nice to have under the canopy or something like that. One of the things with the split force is with the big canopy popped over it, the heat rises and it kind of gets trapped under the canopy, so it gets pretty warm under there. So a couple of fans to move some air around would be really, really nice. Not Enough Firewood says he has an EcoFlow that he uses a 3-foot fan, cools me off, but put it on high and it blows him over. Speedy asked, did you ever think about getting a carport to set the splitter under like Dan has? So I think rather than a carport, what I'd like to have is a pole barn. I have a sawmill. So for me, I would much rather build it myself and overbuild it so that it lasts longer. I think we want to build a pole barn big enough to put the splitter under. And if we get a hopper feeder, that would be pretty nice. I want to build the pole barn on the side of the bunker where we're going to split our firewood. I want the bunker, I want the splitter, I want all of it covered, and I want access to be able to reach into that hopper feeder with a bucket loader or a tractor and dump the rounds in, so that everything goes down like a processed assembly line and right into finished products. So I've been looking, I've been thinking. I looked at steel carports, I looked at some of the other kits that you can buy, metal building kits and things like that. It's really interesting to see the options that are out there. But at the end of the day, old school wins a lot of times. A pole barn is probably one of the cheapest structures to build, and they'll last a long time. Bill, that's not a bad idea. If you talk to him before I do, tell him Russ wants one on his machine too. I think a big umbrella holder would be fantastic. It's just all you need is a couple of round pieces of tubing to stick that umbrella holder down through. You can let him know that Russ wants one too if you talk to him before I do. And if I talk to him, I'll let him know you want one. Cord King's really good about custom stuff too, guys. So my splitter that I'm getting is first of its kind. I think there's 2 of them that are going to be like that because I think one of them might be going to Michigan too. But I wanted it set up a certain way. I didn't want it the way that it was offered. And I said, can we do it this way? And they said, sure, we'll do whatever you want. And I said, well, that's the way I want it. So when we get the new splitter, you're going to see two guys on one side of the machine, and the machine's going to be running. I feel bad for Kevin. All the cords that we've put through the all wood and all of the wood that he's lugged onto that machine, Kevin would prefer to lug the wood onto the machine than he would to run the handles because of the speed and because of his height. He kind of put himself right in the danger zone with the all wood. So he did a lot of feeding for us. But I think having a splitter that two guys can operate and load at the same time and be able to reach the controls is a really big feature and function. And for me, where I like to go fast sometimes, just having Kevin there, you guys will see the new splitter to feed logs. That's what he's going to do. He's going to feed logs. I'll keep the log lift full. I think is going to be a huge advantage with the right size wood. So like I said before in one of our other lives, we're going to sort our wood by size to a point. That's why I'd really like to have two hopper feeders so that I can have one at each splitter. We're going to send all of our larger diameter wood to the Cord King. All of our smaller diameter wood we're going to send to the Split Force. Because if you watch the videos, once we get much over like 3 splits wide and you got to start putting split pieces off to the side, it doesn't make sense for the Split Force. And with the new splitter that we have, 12-inch and up is where it's really going to shine. So keeping the right size wood is going to make all the difference as far as quality that comes out and what the throughput is. So we're going to use the machines for their best intended capability. Now, that's not to say that the Split Force will not do the big stuff. It does it and does it no problem. But the Cord King is going to do it better. It's going to do it faster. And at the end of the day, the quicker you get a cord on the truck, the quicker it heads down the road to make a delivery, the quicker you're putting money back in your pocket to pay for these machines. The Cord King splitter is, it's about $6,000 more than what my all wood was. And that's mostly because of the attached conveyor. But I think pound for pound, what it will push per hour will keep up, if not surpass, what my all wood was. That's what I'm thinking. We'll see when we get it. I mean, the proof's in the pudding. Haven't run it yet. Haven't seen it function yet, so I can't really say for sure. But my engineering brain is telling me that it should keep up, if not be faster. Because with the all wood, the 8-way was what we had. And all of that stuff, but the 4-way was the best because of the speed. I could control my size. So with the new Cord King, I'm going to have a wedge that controls my size. I just have to drop the wood in. So it's all about trying to figure out what works. And I don't know what works yet. We're gonna figure it out as we go. That's why the first Split Force we had a 16-foot conveyor. Wasn't quite long enough. So we went from a 16-foot conveyor to a 20-foot conveyor. Like the 20-foot conveyor. There's all kinds of stuff that adds up and makes differences in the yard. So Josh and Janice says, have you heard anything from the buyer of the all-wood? So Lauren is the guy that bought the all-wood muscle wood that I had. When he got it, he had trouble with the oil cooler, so we bought a new oil cooler for him, sent it out. They got the oil cooler put on. He's got over 100 cords through it since he bought it, and he said it just absolutely hammers the wood out. He had an issue. He had a big crotched piece that he said he wasn't sure if he wanted to try to split or not, and he did, and it actually stalled the machine out. It hit and stalled the machine out, and he thinks he might have stalled it because he tried to hit the auto cycle to shut it off, and I think it locked the valves in between. Well, when it did that, because of the Lovejoy coupling, it bound it hard and it broke a couple of the rubber ears off the Lovejoy. So when he got it started again, it was making some racket and noise. So he called me. He's a carpenter. He's not a mechanic. He says, what do I do? I said, it's a Lovejoy. I said, if you take it apart, there's going to be a number on the inside or a number on the outside of the Lovejoy. I said, you can get like a 5-pack of the rubbers for like $10. I said, get yourself another rubber, slide the 2 halves back, slide them together with the rubber in the middle, and you're good to go. So he did that, and life's been good. He's having fun with it, and the machine is still producing firewood. He got the table too, And when he got the table, he said, I thought I was going to use it all the time. He said, it sounded really great. He goes, but it's really, he said, it's faster for me to have a couple of guys on the other side just feeding that log lift like what you and Kevin did. I said, yeah. I said, that's kind of what we found too. So he hasn't really used the table. He used it one time. Let's see. Speedy says, what size wood are you looking at getting out of the Cord King? So I'm not sure if they're building me a 4x4 or a 3x3 cubed wedge, but it's going to be basically like a cube style wedge, and everything will be 3x3 or 3x4 or 4x3. I think it's 4x3, but either way, any of those sizes will work for us. So that works out good. Our restaurant customers actually want a little bigger split firewood now, which we'll give them what they want. Before they wanted smaller split, now they want bigger split. So it'll make perfect wood for the restaurants for what we're doing. So it's going to be somewhere 3x3, 4x4, 3x4, somewhere in there, but not real big. Good palm size splits. A palm size split is about the best size split. Now some people's palms are bigger than others, but a good palm size split, that works for just about anybody's stove, especially when they're dry. So Robert Cunningham's checking in. Just finished up loading tomorrow's deliveries. So he's trying to load a little bit later while it's cooler, try to beat some of that heat. How's the weather down there in Texas? Are you guys 100 and something degrees still, or what's going on down there? We've been in the 80s to low 90s and humid as all get out up here. I mean, just stand outside and sweat. No fun at all. So chainsaw sharpener. We talked about chainsaw sharpener a couple of weeks ago. I've used it a bunch. The more I use it, the more I like it. The CBN wheel, I think if you buy a bench top grinder, you need to have a CBN wheel. It is so much smoother when you're sharpening chains, and I think it makes a better edge too. The sharpener we have is the same as an Oregon 620, and it's the same as a Speedco Jolly. So there, three sharpeners are made by the same company, different colors, same functions, same features. The Husqvarna was what New England Pine and Timber had at the time when I was looking for a sharpener, so that's what we did. But overall, very happy with it. I like the light that's on it. The light's very bright, so you can see really good at what you're looking at, what you're doing. And I've noticed I try to take as small of a bite as I can out of the chain and still clean up the whole face of the tooth and make sure that I've got my point in the corner. I try to take as little as possible. That way you get as many sharpenings as you can out of each chain. There are some guys that they go for it and they whack a bunch out. And one, that's building heat in your tooth so you lose your temper. Two, you're wasting a bunch of chain. And three, it actually takes longer. If you're taking just a little bit just to touch that chain back up, they go pretty quick. You can zip through a chain really quick, especially with the CBN wheel. The CBN wheels really make the difference. With the original stone wheel that was on it, it had some vibration and it shook a little bit depending on what you were doing. The CBN wheel is just smooth, really smooth. So any of you guys that have grinders, check and get yourself a CBN wheel. They're a little pricey, but they're worth it. I promise. You're going to be so much happier. Try it with the regular stone wheel first, and then try it with the CBN wheel, and tell me it's not better. So who on here is going to Boonville? I know Ryan and his family are coming up from Virginia. They're going to meet us in Boonville. Dave's going to Boonville, and Amber, my wife, and Big Rich are coming to Boonville with us. So we're going to have a bunch of us coming from Maine. And I already know that I've got a bunch of people coming over to Cord King to come see us. I've got a few people that want to come over to Split Force and see me. Ryan or I, one of the two of us, will be at the Cord King or the Split Force booth all weekend long. So if you see Ryan at Split Force, you know that means I'm at Cord King. If you see me at Split Force, you know Ryan's at Cord King. One of the two of us will be at either place. Very rarely you may see us together, but we're gonna be at one or the other place, and trying to meet and see what's going on. Speedy, Gramps said it was okay. So it wasn't good, it was okay. And okay is pretty good. I'll take an okay. They throw chips well, it cuts well, it's a smooth cut. I take the rakers just a little bit lower for Gramp because that's the way he likes it. But he said cuts better than a new chain, but not quite as good as hand sharpened. And I would agree with that because anybody that truly knows how to hand sharpen is going to be faster than a grinder, I think. I know guys that can hand sharpen and it's like a laser beam through the wood. Gramp is one of them. I'm not that good with a hand file. I can make it cut again. I can straighten my teeth out. I can do that stuff, but the grinder is just quicker for me. Absolutely. We will have a live when we're at the show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a live at Split Force with Jay from Empire Attachments. He's one of the owner. And I'm going to do a live with Dave from Cord King. And we're going to do those one a day and put those out there. And then we're also going to do a live, and probably before or after a show day, we will show you all of the machines at each place in a live too, and we will go through all the features, everything that they are, show you all the ins and outs, all that stuff. We're going to try to do a lot better job with the show as far as showing you guys what there are for options. Now, Cord King has 3 brand new products that they're debuting at the Boonville show. They have a new budget Firewood processor. It can work as a standalone log splitter if needed as well. They have a new circle saw machine processor that is being released. They have a new 34-ton automated splitter option that's mine, but if somebody wants it, I'll sell it. That's my splitter with attached conveyor, and it's a longer attached conveyor for us to be able to feed the dump trailer or get into the dump truck. So we'll have that. At Split Force, we have a towable SF9 with the extended log table. So it's got a 6-foot log table on it with a log lift. We've got an orange 1116 kind of loaded up. We've got a SF 1320 gunmetal gray and a matching hopper conveyor. And that one's loaded up. I believe that one's got light package, hydraulic cooler, everything. That one's loaded to the hilt with the painted to match hopper feeder. So we've got those machines. Cord King will also have a larger bar saw machine, and the Cord King Eagle entry-level splitter. They'll have a LS2429. That's the push-button splitter that everybody's been buying and is all excited about with the repeater wedge. We'll have a Kindling King, a couple of ergo baggers, and all of that stuff. So we'll have a little bit of everything there. So if you're in the area, stop on by, check it out. Remember, Willey discount gets you an extra 5% off regardless of what your purchase price is from Cord King. You know, Jim, that might be a good video. That might be a really good video, actually. We should take one of Gramps' freshly sharpened chains, and I know which ones are sharpened because he marks it with a red permanent marker on a tooth. Take one of his freshly sharpened chains and put it on the grinder and see if we can figure out what he's running for setting. That would be a really, really interesting video. I like that idea a lot. I think we need to do that. I think we need to see if we can get a Gramp grind. That's if you could duplicate that, I'm telling you, the chips that his saw throws are crazy. And we can look and see how he's setting his rakers. I think he might be even a little more aggressive than I am with the rakers when I do them for him. But I think that would be pretty cool. Have a good night, Bracken. Appreciate you stopping by, buddy. Yeah, Gramp tweaks the chains for the day's cutting too, and I've talked about that before. If he knows he's getting into a bunch of oak or beech, he'll tweak his tooth. If he knows he's running a bunch of soft maple or something like that, he'll run his tooth back out. He changes depending on what the wood is without even realizing he's doing it. But yeah, I think grabbing one of his chains and doing that would be pretty cool. Josh and Janice said, Gramp Grind sounds like a coffee. If we've got a coffee roasting company that's watching this, or anybody that knows a coffee roasting company, maybe Willey's Firewood needs to have Gramp Grind coffee.
That sounds like a great idea for Black Bear Bites.
That would be, and that's a great idea for Black Bear Bites too. My wife just thought of that. So our donut shop, maybe we need to have Gramp Grind coffee. The kind of coffee you can stand a spoon in and makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. So that would be kind of cool. I like that idea. We've got a few Gramp sticks that we're taking to the show. I've got some hats left that we're taking to the show. Not a lot of merch that we're bringing because these shows for me, guys, get really, really busy. And as much as I love my wife and Richard, I don't want to have to make them slaves to a table just to sell some merchandise. We will have it. If you come see me, we can certainly take care of it and get you a hat or a sticker or Gramp stick or whatever. We'll take care of it. But my focus for the show is to answer people's questions, try to get everybody taken care of as best as possible. Logger Jason, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Gramp doesn't taste the coffee, so I'll have to get that on video sometime. It's amazing to watch the man drink a cup of coffee. He will finish a cup of coffee faster than just about anybody I know, and he hammers that coffee down, and it doesn't matter how hot it is, and it's right back to work. He's been that way my whole life. Ice fishing, hunting, any of that stuff. Pot of black coffee with a little bit of sugar in it. Throw it in his Oscar green thermos and coffee all day. You can have it any way you want as long as it's his way. So Dan's House of Smoking Outdoors says, I bet money he files his drags and rounds off the back. He does round the backs off when they get worn sometimes. So that's definitely something that I know he does, and I know some other guys that do that too. But that's only after he's filed them a few times. So, yes, Logger Jason, I actually meant to say that too, and I forgot. So, Tim at Neighborly Homestead is very, very close to 1,000 subscribers to his channel. So if you guys are not watching Neighborly Homestead yet, Tim, Sarah, and all the kids, they do a fantastic job. And they do an excellent job with their maple syrup. I love maple syrup. Not going to get any more from Scott and Ann from Wise Choice. They're all done doing maple syrup. That's kind of sad, but I like my maple syrup. And Josh and Janice just put the link to Neighborly Homestead. So if you haven't checked out Neighborly Homestead yet, go ahead, check them out, and give them a subscribe. Follow them along. Uncle V, yes, I did a video of Gramp sharpening one time, and I actually got him talk on camera, and we had wireless mics on, and the wireless mics were all wonky. All of the audio was garbage. So I've got to try to get back over there, and we've got to do another video. I will try to do all of that stuff to see what we can do. Ooh, Logger Jason's bringing me some syrup to Bunyan. That's what I like. Yeah, Robert, Starbucks isn't going to work for Gramp very well, and I don't think he'd like Starbucks coffee either. So Gramp is a Folgers coffee guy, has been Folgers coffee my whole life. And the scoop that comes in the can, it's like 3 scoops and a filter, and he's got the old Bun coffee maker that he's had for a long time, and that's what it is. He doesn't get fancy. He's not buying fancy beans. He's not doing any of that stuff. He's drinking his coffee. That's it. So it's it would be interesting to see somebody ordering a non-fat soy latte with foam and all that good stuff. Oh no, Josh and Janice had to settle with store syrup the other night. I still have a few bottles of real syrup kicking around. I've actually got one out in the garage still that I won at the Hope raffle last year. I've got some of Scott and Ann's. I think I used all the stuff that Mike gave me before. And we've got a bunch of, I think I got one more bottle of Maine stuff from a customer too. But it's, it goes quick. It doesn't last all year sometimes, and that's a sad thing. Yeah, Bun Coffee Makers. My dad's parents had a convenience store when I was growing up. So after my papa retired from driving dump truck and working construction his whole life, they started a convenience store. The year that I was born, they built the convenience store. They had the same commercial bun coffee maker for all 15 years that they owned the store. And the store was busy. I mean, busy. When they had the gravel pits and all the log truck drivers and everybody coming through back in the day, that store, the parking lot was full. They knew that they opened early, and they did what they needed to, and they kept the coffee pots full. A lot of the truck drivers knew to check, and if the filter hadn't been run through yet and there was an empty pot, they would stick a pot down there and they'd start brewing it for them. It was a pretty good system. It was one of those small town country stores where everybody knew everybody. Still had handwritten tabs for the guys that would stop in once a week and pay their tab after they got paid and do all that stuff. And it's really different times now when you go in and you see all the computerized, barcode scanning and all that stuff. I mean, my grandparents knew the price to everything. It was an old hand punch register, and it was your local convenience store. Let's see. I saw Brian Shotliff, Family Firewood. Brian stopped in. How you doing, Brian? Maxwell House Coffee, black, no sugar. So Gramp didn't used to do sugar. Then he did sugar, and now he actually does French vanilla creamer, and can blame my dad on that. My dad always drank French vanilla creamer in his coffee, and my grandfather would tell him it was frou-frou coffee. And now Gramp will put just enough of a French vanilla creamer in his coffee just to change the color a little bit, and he uses that. So I like having coffee with Gramp, even if he inhales his coffee in just a minute, just to have a quick break and just chat for a second. It's one of the highlights of my day. I miss my dad's father. I wish my dad's father was still around. He would have been fantastic to have on the channel. My dad's father, he grew up in the woods from 3rd grade on, hand peeling pulp logs, working with horses, steel-wheeled tractors, and he had done a little bit of everything in the blue-collar world the hard way, back before we had the fancy stuff. And he loved to tell stories. He would have been a fantastic person to have doing this stuff. He'd have loved to do this kind of stuff. Okay, Jason, make sure you mark me down for at least 2 bottles, because Robert Daigle wants one too. I'll have to bring him one home. So I got you, Robert. So yeah, coffee in the morning. Coffee on a cold morning is just really, it's part of the wood yard. Cold, frosty morning, snow, chainsaws, sawdust, smell of the wood. You have the coffee out there. It doesn't get any better. Josh and Janice want one too now, Lager Jason. You just better bring a bunch. If anybody wants syrup from Lager Jason, I guess either email me or shoot me a message so that I can put a list together. And if Jason has enough, I'll bring home as much as I can. I'll forfeit my bottle if I need to get somebody else some, because I still have a few bottles left. So I think I can survive. But, yep, Iffy Kid, if at all possible, I will be at Bear Paw next year. I was really disappointed that I didn't get there this year, and I'd really like to get there and make sure that I can help you guys out there. That was one thing that I kind of was bummed that I missed. That was a group of guys that I wanted to go out and work with. All right, so we're in overtime. Morning's going to come quick because Gramp's going to be here pretty soon. And I've got an early morning worth of delivering, and then I got to come back and we got to get 4 more cords done beside what's on the truck already. So I'm probably going to let you guys go. We'll be back Sunday night. We'll do this again. We'll let you know how we made out for the rest of the week. I should have one more video this week as well. I'm going to try to do 2 to 3 videos a week. And remember, guys, a little bit every day goes a long way. Help someone if you can. I will see you Sunday night.